The Island Center for the Performing Arts presents Black History Month production, The Struggle, The Undefeated.
UVI Voices of Inspiration, directed by Josephine Thomas Lewis, began in 1999 when a group of resident assistants and residential students sought an outlet to express their musical talents. This expression of students' talents, skills, and desires would be called the Voices of Inspiration. Since its inception, they have traveled to various Caribbean islands and the mainland. They are excited about their growth and their upcoming trip to London, UK on July 18th, 2019.
Kwashiku, what is going on? Huh? What is going on?
We have to go.
No, I do not want to go. No,
Chioma.
I cannot go. No, I cannot go.
Chioma, we have to go.
No, you see what they did to our baby brother. Huh? They killed him.
Chioma, no, it's not the time.
No,
We have to go,
I do not
Chioma.
want to be a slave.
Chioma.
I do not want to be tied up.
We have to go.
No, I do not
Chioma.
want to be in chains.
We have to go.
No,
Chioma.
I'm not going.
Chioma.
No,
Chioma.
no,
No. I don't want to go with you. Chioma.
No. Leave her alone. Leave her alone.
Are you a slave?
What am I? If not a slave. I cook, I clean, and I mourn. I wash, I sweep, and I weep. From dawn to fall of night. I do nothing but cooking. I cook all day, 3 times a day. From dawn to fall of night. What are you? If not my master. You eat, you teach, and you cheat. You run, you drink, and you sleep. From dawn to fall of night. For 3 long decades, I do nothing but wash your dirty dishes, empty your dirty dishes. From dawn to fall of night. What is marriage? If not custom. You are my master. I am merely your slave. You do your part. I'm mine. From dawn to fall of night. And back to break of day. Bayete, bayete, uigoya maya kwa Juda, uikoloke banla, ualfa no omega, isikalone sifeto.
Alfa no omega isikalo nesipeto. Bayete, uyama ya kwa Juda, uikolole bala, ualfa no omega isikalo nesipeto. Bayete, uyama ya kwa Juda, uikolole bala, ualfa no omega isikalo nesipeto.
H. Woodson. John H. Woodson Junior High School Dance Ensemble. The John H. Woodson Junior High School Dance Ensemble is a new dance group directed by artist, director, Chyrise Schuster. This is their first performance. Sheelene Gumbs is a community activist and a crisis counselor at the Women's Coalition of St. Croix. With an educational background in psychology, theology, and business, she takes a very holistic approach to life and counseling. Understanding a person's beliefs, fears, and outlook on life is what is needed to best serve them in becoming survivors of any trauma that they would encounter. Helping each person to find their inner strength is imperative to growth, development, and recovery. The combination of fields of study came due to working with people in different cultures and parts of the world. From the Caribbean region, Canada, United Kingdom, Europe, Africa, and the United States, Virgin Islands, which differs from both Caribbean and United States. Personal beliefs have proven to be the common denominator in successful recovery. Ms. Gumbs is the mother of one, Evangeline, one godson, and only daughter of Dolores Gumbs.
Whew, New York is cold. I don't know why I moved from Alabama. Lord knows it's a lot warmer there. Ooh, it's Black History Month. And they told me that I needed to share a little bit about myself with you. But you see, unlike most people in Black history, I'm still alive. I'm 79, and I'm happy about it. Because Lord knows. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. Y'all doing okay? Are you sure? All right. It was March 2nd, 1955. I'm going to share my scrapbook with you. I was 15 years old. Well, let me backtrack. I was born September 5th, 1939, growing up in Montgomery, Alabama. And Jim Crow, well, I never met him, but his rules I had to live by. I realized that the world wasn't in black and white when I was a little girl, when my mama, well, she ain't really my mama, but she adopted me. I didn't know my mama. So she took me in a store, and I tried to touch this little white boy because he was laughing at me because we didn't look the same, and I was trying to tell him that we did look the same. And she beat me for touching him and acting out and trying to touch white people. Well, I went to an all-black school because we couldn't be around white folk. We heard that the Brown versus the Board of Education said that we could, but not in Bama. No siree. In February, we had Negro History Week. And my teacher taught us all about them great black folks that they left out of our history books. Well, my favorites was Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth, because they was black women like me. So, like I said, it was March 2nd, 1955, and I was going home from school with my friends on the city bus. On them buses, we still had to sit in the back. You know them first five? Them was for the white folks. The bus drivers could tell us black folks that even moved back after the first five was filled because they had white people that needed to sit down. Well, this day, this lady came on the bus, and they ain't had no seat in the first five, so the bus driver told us to move. Well, Negro History Week was on my mind, and I wasn't moving because it wasn't right. They had space, she just didn't want to sit down. And they weren't moving because it was my constitutional right. They called the police and grabbed me and kicked me and threw my books and took me to jail. They cussed me, make jokes about my bra size and my body. They charged me with breaking the segregation law, resisting arrest, and assaulting an officer because one got scratched while they were trying to throw me off the bus. Well, they charged me as an adult, and they didn't let me call my mama. I was 15. My friends told my mom, and the pastor and her came, and they paid my bail. I was the first person to get arrested against the Montgomery bus segregation law. Rosa Parks didn't get arrested until December 5th, 1959, which was 9 months later. But no one remembers me. Why? Maybe because I was 15. And maybe because Rosa Parks was light-skinned, and yes, it did mean something back then. Still means something now. Maybe because I was poor, and maybe because I got pregnant. And you know, an unwed mother was not a good look for the movement. So, being a teenage mother and all, I just decided, no, they weren't going to choose me anyway. And so I left. I went to New York, because I'm more a Malcolm X kind of lady. not a Martin Luther King. Because I got arrested, I was the star witness in the Browder versus Gales kill in the Supreme Court on December 17, 1956. I was the last to testify, and we won. Court verdict, segregation on the Mulberry bus was illegal. And 3 days later, we had segregated buses. So I was right. It was my constitutional right. When they asked me why I didn't move, I said, well, I couldn't move because history had me glued to the seat. Sojourner hands were pushing me down on one shoulder, and Harriet Tubman's hands were pushing me down on the other. So, my name is Claudette Colvin. And yes, I was 15. And no, nobody remembers me. But I'm okay with that, because we're doing better as black women and black people.
Ochin comes from a musical and artistic family, singing since she was 3 years old. Now 8 and in the 3rd grade, she also enjoys dancing, acting, and acrobatics. She has dreams of being a professional singer and sharing her talent with the world.
Ain't got no sweat, ain't got no perfume, ain't got no love, ain't got no faith, ain't got no culture, ain't got no mother, ain't got no father, ain't got no brother, ain't got no children. Ain't got no aunts, ain't got no uncles, ain't got no love, ain't got no mind, ain't got no country, ain't got no schooling, ain't got no friends, ain't got no nothing, ain't got no water. Ain't got no air, ain't got no smokes, ain't got no chicken, ain't got no water, ain't got no love, ain't got no air, ain't got no God, ain't got no wine, ain't got no money. Ain't got no bed, ain't got no God, ain't got no love. And what have I got? Why am I alive anyway? Yeah, what have I got? Nobody can take away. I've got my hair, I got my head, got my brains, got my ears, got my eyes, got my nose, got my mouth. I've got myself. I've got my arms, got my hands, got my fingers, got my legs, got my feet, got my tools, got my liver, got my blood. I've got life. I've got life. I've got headaches and toothaches and bad times too, like you. I've got my hair, got my head, got my brains, got my ears, got my eyes, got my nose, got my mouth. I've got my smile. I've got my tongue, got my chin, got my neck, got my body, got my heart, got my soul, got my back, got myself. I've got arms, life. I've got life. I've got my arms, got my hands, got my fingers, got my legs, got my feet, got my toes, got my liver, got my blood. I've got life. I've got my freedom. Whoa, I've got
Lisa Charles has been involved with music throughout her life. Lisa has performed as Celie in The Color Purple, Smokey Joe's Cafe, Velma in Crowns, and Helena in Eclipse at the Caribbean Community Theater. She has also appeared in Beyond the Bitch, Pick It Up and Take It, and Out of Control, written and directed by Opal Palmer. She is a proud mother of one and a member of the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. She holds an MBA in Healthcare Management and currently works for the Department of Human Services as acting supervisor of the Medicaid Eligibility Unit.
Hey, it's time to learn a little history with Sojourner Truth. In history, standing up and being a leader wasn't always easy, especially for a woman named Sojourner Truth. Sojourner Truth was an abolitionist and women's rights activist who stood up for women and African Americans to be treated as equal. Now, starting off, Sojourner Truth was born in 1797 in the state of New York. Now, the entire time I have been calling her Sojourner Truth, but that was not her name at birth. Sojourner Truth's real name at birth was Isabella Baumfree. Her parents were Elizabeth and James Baumfree, and like many African Americans during this time in history, they were slaves. She had a big family with 12 siblings, but Sojourner was eventually sold to Johnny Lee at the age of 9 for $100 and a herd of sheep. For Sojourner, learning was hard. Sojourner had it really tough with the family she was sold to. And as a child, she only spoke Dutch, and the family that owned her spoke English. She learned to speak English quickly because she was severely beaten when she didn't understand what the family was saying. After living with that family, she was sold several times. Later, Sojourner was forced to marry an older slave named Thomas, and they had 4 children, Peter, James, Elizabeth, and Sophia. This is where her last owner promised Sojourner freedom, but broke his promise. After finding out that her master would not keep his promise, she had to do something. One morning, she got up and ran away with her daughter. After running away, her master eventually found her. But lucky for Sojourner, a family took her in and paid her master to let her stay with them. Sometime after that, Sojourner Truth had a life-changing religious experience while living with the Van Wagenen family. Soon after, she became an amazing traveling preacher. This is where she began traveling, standing up for slaves and women's rights. Sojourner died on November 26, 1883 in Battle Creek, Michigan at the age of 86. Her life and legacy will always shine bright as she is remembered for standing up for the truth and traveling abroad to spread it. I hope you enjoyed these fun facts about Sojourner Truth.
Well, children, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. I think that twists the Negroes of the South and the women at the North all talking about rights. The white man will be in a fix pretty soon. But what this here talking about? That man over there says that women needs to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches and to be in the best places everywhere. Nobody ever helps me in the carriages or over mud puddles or give me any best place. Ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arms. I've plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could head me. And ain't I a woman? I could have worked as much and eat as much as a man when I could get it. And I bear lashes as well. And ain't I a woman? I've born 13 children and seen most all sold to slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman? Then they talk about this thing in the head. What's this? They call it, that's it, honey. What's that got to do with women's rights or Negroes' rights? If my cup holds but a pint and yours hold a quart, wouldn't you be mean not to let me have my little half measure full? Then that little man in black there, he says that women can't have as much rights as a man, 'cause Christ wasn't a woman. Where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? God and a woman. Man ain't had nothing to do with him. If the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down alone, these women together ought to be able to turn it right side up again. And they asking to do it. The man better let them. Obliged to you for hearing me. Now, old Sojourner ain't got nothing more to say.
Kendra Young Allister is 32 years old, and she is a songstress. Kendra works with the Virgin Islands government for the past 10 years, but singing was her first passion. She started singing in church at the age of 8 years old. She was noticed for her powerful vocal cords, singing gospel songs, as well as late hits from Whitney Houston. Kendra sings whenever she can. She is a member of the University of the Virgin Islands Voices of Inspiration Choir. She volunteers her voice and vocal training talents to the Mumbiju Homeowners Association Youth Center with the Young Gift and Talented organization. Kendra even uses her talent within the government. Mistress Young Allister is known for her singing of the national anthem and VI March at Government House for government officials swearing in, VIPD Academy graduation, birthday parties, funerals, and weddings, as well as the recent inauguration ceremony for the newly elected, the Honorable Governor Albert Ryan.
Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy is rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna heist your wings up, take to the sky. But till that morning, nothing can harm you. With Dad and Mammy, they'll be standing by. Oh, sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. That's a long way from my home. That's a long way from home. It's a long way from my home, oh Lord, it's a long way from home.
Dr. Daniel Hale Williams performed the first ever heart surgery in 1893 without the assistance of x-rays, antibiotics, or modern anesthesia. Dr. Dan, as he was known, was born in Pennsylvania and received his medical degree from Chicago Medical School. In 1891, he founded Provident Hospital, the first interracial hospital in Chicago on the city's south side. The hospital established the first black nursing school. One fateful day, 2 years later, a young black man named James Cornish was brought to Provident Hospital with a serious wound on his chest. With his patient bleeding heavily, Williams saw only one option. He performed surgery on James' chest, fixing the severed artery, and then closed the wound. James was discharged 51 days later, fully recovered. He lived another 20 years, proving the success of Dr. Dan's operation. George Washington Carver was a botanist, agricultural chemist, and inventor. His innovation and determination helped to restore the struggling agricultural economy of the South during the early 20th century. Fascinated with nature from an early age, he grew a secret flower garden in the woods near his foster home. He earned the nickname the Plant Doctor by the time he was 10 years old because of his skill in caring for sick plants. At 27, Carver entered Iowa State College of Agriculture and graduated as one of their outstanding scholars. He was appointed their greenhouse director and an assistant instructor in botany. He earned his master's degree in 1896, and out of his long-held desire to help poor black Southerners, he accepted Booker T. Washington's offer to be the Director of Agriculture at Tuskegee Institute. Southern cotton farmers were bringing in smaller harvests and thus less money. Carver examined the soil and found the cotton plants had taken important nutrients from the soil. He discovered that peanuts, sweet potatoes, soybeans, and cowpeas return nitrogen to the soil, so he urged farmers to plant these in rotation with cotton. The crops helped feed the farmers' families and allowed them to grow more cotton than before. When the farmers struggled to find customers for their peanut and sweet potato crops, Carver made more than 300 products from peanuts, such as ink, shampoo, soap, and candy, and molasses, glue, and flour from sweet potatoes. Carver donated his life savings to Tuskegee to establish the George Washington Carver Foundation, which helped provide research opportunities for students. A museum was also founded in his honor. President Franklin D. Roosevelt ordered the dedication of the George Washington Carver National Monument, located near the scientist's childhood home in Missouri. It was the first national monument dedicated to an African American. George Washington Carver believed, "It is simply service that measures success." Madam C.J. Walker was the first African American millionaire businesswoman in the United States. Born Sarah Breedlove in Louisiana, she was orphaned at age 6. At age 20, she became a widow with a 2-year-old daughter to support. She worked as a washerwoman in St. Louis, Missouri, a job which required difficult manual labor with little pay. Still, she attended night school and saved what money she could to invest in her experiments. Sarah suffered from alopecia, a condition which left her hair dry and brittle, sometimes patches fell out. Dissatisfied with the hair treatments available at the time, she mixed different combinations of oils in her bathtub until she discovered a satisfactory formula. The treatment worked for her, and she then began testing her wonderful hair grower on other people. It was a hit, and after moving to Denver, Colorado, she perfected her treatment and created other products, including a straightening comb, which she patented in 1905. Sarah sold products door to door and used her own before and after photos as proof of her product's effectiveness. Sarah married Charles Joseph Walker in 1906 and began calling herself Madam C.J. Walker. Her Walker method took off, allowing her to establish an office and manufacturing headquarters after only 1 year. With the help of her daughter and nieces, Walker recruited more saleswomen to help sell her products. In 1908, Walker opened a second office in Philadelphia, as well as a beauty parlor and school in Pittsburgh. Her hair courses eventually became available in New York, Indianapolis, and at black colleges throughout the South. In 1917, Walker built a 30-room mansion in New York and began to sponsor black artists and writers, even establishing the Madam Walker Theater Center in Indianapolis. By that time, her manufacturing company took up an entire city block and employed over 3,000 people. Madam C.J. Walker also donated generously to scholarship funds at Tuskegee and Palmer Memorial Institutes and organizations such as the YMCA and the NAACP. Garrett A. Morgan was an African-American inventor born in 1875 in Kentucky. One night, a Cleveland Waterworks construction crew became trapped underground in a cloud of toxic fumes when their tunnel beneath Lake Erie exploded. First responders made 2 unsuccessful attempts to rescue the workers. With time running out, the authorities summoned Garrett and his brother Frank. They arrived with a gas mask Morgan had patented 2 years before. Earlier breathing devices were unreliable, so Morgan invented something better. Firefighters, engineers, chemists, and other workers who regularly encountered dangerous gases were already using his breathing device in other cities. He later upgraded his mask with its own air supply, and it became of great importance during World War I and later wars. At the Cleveland disaster site, the Morgan brothers and 2 volunteers strapped on the gas mask and made several brave trips through the darkness of the 200-foot-long toxic tunnel. They rescued more than 20 people. Morgan was awarded a medal from the International Association of Fire Engineers. The gas mask was not his first or last invention. Morgan worked as a handyman at a sewing machine shop in Ohio, and at age 26, sold his belt fastener for sewing machines. 8 years later, he opened a tailoring shop which manufactured dresses and suits. After only 1 year, Morgan and his wife purchased a home, where they eventually raised 3 sons. After accidentally discovering a hair straightening substance in 1913, Morgan established the G.A. Morgan Hair Refining Company. The profit supported his continued research. In 1923, Morgan patented an automatic traffic signal, which led to the overhead and sidewalk traffic lights that keep us safe to this day.
Milan McCambry was born in Atlanta, Georgia. She began singing joyful melodies since she could speak. She also loves to dance and model and be a part of the St. Croix Majorettes. Milan is also on the principal honor roll, being the top student of her class. Her singing career developed at Speak the Word Children's Choir, where under the direction of Mr. James, she would initiate Milan to sing lead. She has performed at Speak the Word, St. Croix Christian Academy, 2019 Martin Luther King March, MC for Lumaka Christmas Program, MLK Tribute at Island Center. This is just the beginning of this young lady's divine journey.
Hey, welcome back.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let Alabama turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let Alabama turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let segregation turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let segregation turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let no jailhouse turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let no jailhouse turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let no governor turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let no governor turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Thank you.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around. up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let Alabama turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let Alabama turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let no jailhouse turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no jailhouse turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let segregation turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let segregation turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let segregation turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let segregation turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom.
Colleen Liburd is a native Crucian who loves singing. She is the mother of two. She has also been working as a professional nurse for the past 20 years. She's presently working at the 1F Louis Hospital.
The way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. Oh no, you can't take that away from me. The way your smile just beams, the way you sing off key, the way you haunt my dreams. Oh no, you can't take that away from me. We may never, never meet again on that bumpy road to love. Seem like every day it's full of love. The way you hold your knife, the way we dance till 3, the way you changed my life. Oh no, you can't take that away from me. No, you can't take that the memory of all that. Oh no, you can't take that away from me. The way your smile just beam, the way you sing off key, the way you haunt my dreams. Oh no, you can't take that away from me. We may never, never meet again on that bumpy road to love. Still we're always, always, always in love. The way you hold your knife, the way we dance till 3, the way you change my life. Oh no, you can't take that away from me. No, you can't take that away from me. Oh, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, you can't take that away. Oh, no. I love you too much. Oh, no, no, no. No, 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 no. See, we'll never, never meet again on the bumpy road to love. Still, we'll always, always, always be in love. The way you hold your knife, the way we dance till 3, the way you change my life. Oh no, you can't take that away from me. No, you can't take that away from me. Oh no, you can't take that away from me.
Put your hands again together for Colleen Liburd. And the dance that you saw before they were introduced was the Caribbean Dance School. The Caribbean Dance Company has its central purpose the professional training, preservation, and performance of traditional West Indian and contemporary cultural forms as developed by founding artistic director Monty Thomas. Since 1977, they have fulfilled their service to the diverse Virgin Islands community and the world through main stage performances, classes, lecture, demonstrations, and research of both Caribbean folk and contemporary dance form. Up next, Dennis McCluster.
Dennis McCluster is an award-winning writer whose short stories and poetry have been published and anthologized in the USA and Virgin Islands. A retired journalist, editor, and soldier, he is a St. Croix businessman.
You ever Google yourself? That's what I'm doing right now. Booker T. Washington. Fascinating. The Negroes of this time, what do we call ourselves now? Black people? African Americans, Afro-Caribbean? Y'all have it so easy. Compulsory education, it is free, and the wealth of the world's knowledge right at your fingertips. All you got to do is read. You know, I always said, if you can't read, and actually, I guess in the 21st century, I should say, if you don't read, it's going to be hard to realize dreams. Now, when I was born a slave in 1856, it was illegal to teach Negroes how to read and write. I remember when I was a little boy, I saw the white children going back and forth to the schoolhouse. And I told my mom I wanted to learn how to read. Guess what? She managed to sneak me some books. And after a few years of hard studying, I did learn to read. And in 1872, I took that long 500-mile walk from my home to Hampton. That was the Hampton Normal Institute, a colored school. And I took odd jobs along the way just to support myself, but when I got there, I still didn't have any money. But I managed to talk them people into let me into that school. I talked them into letting me in by giving me a job as a janitor. Now, there's something else I always used to say, which is that you should dignify and glorify common labor. Because it's at the bottom of life that we must begin, not at the top. Now, Hampton's headmaster, General Samuel C. Armstrong, he had been a general in the Civil War where he headed a regiment of African-American soldiers, Negro soldiers they called them those days. Some people called them Buffalo soldiers. But he became the headmaster at the Institute, and he befriended me. He became like a mentor to me. Another thing I like to say was, associate yourself with people of quality. It's better to be alone than be with bad company. Now, I graduated from Hampton in 1875, went back home to my schoolhouse to teach, and then a couple of years later, I went to Washington, D.C. to study at the seminary. While I was there, General Armstrong got in touch with me, asked me to give a commencement address to the graduates of Hampton. A couple of years later, 1881, some Alabama folks came to him and asked him to find a white man to found a school, I guess something like Hampton, in Tuskegee, Alabama. But instead of finding a white man, he recommended me. So I took $2,000 and started the Tuskegee Normal Industrial Institute. First started teaching our classes in a little church, but I took to the road. I was speaking all over the South to try and get money to raise funds for our school. And that was kind of tricky, because it was right at the dawn of Jim Crow. And these trying to talk these white folks into giving money to a colored school was difficult. So I assured them that we would not threaten white supremacy, nor would we challenge them economically. We would not compete with them. And this seed of my philosophy caused a great rift among our leaders at that time. You know, I believe that in the wake of the Compromise of 1877, that was when they ended Reconstruction, pulled the Union soldiers out of the South, and gave Southern whites autonomy again. I believe that we needed to swallow the bitter pill of segregation. As long as whites allowed us economic progress, educational opportunity, and justice in the courts. Now, in retrospect, I can see that my critics, including W.E.B. Du Bois, had a point, because the whites reneged. Still, in 1901, President Theodore Roosevelt invited me to the White House for dinner. This had never been done before. whites were a little riled that he would invite a colored man to the White House at his table as an equal. And he started consulting me about race relations over the years after that, many visits to the White House. And his successor, President William Howard Taft, continued the tradition. Now, I found that my influence was either loved or hated. To some, I was a hero. To others among my people, I was a traitor. To the whites, they loved my book, Up From Slavery, except the ones who wanted to put me back down and put me in my place. Now, about those who would strive to belittle me, I say, to hold a man down, you got to be down there with him. The Tuskegee Institute thrived when the Lord called me home in 1915. My little school had grown to more than 100 buildings, 1,500 students, 200 faculty. We offered 38 trades and professions. Tuskegee University now has more than 3,000 students, offers 65 degrees. 65 degrees, 46 of which are undergrad, 15 of which are masters, and 4 doctoral programs. I guess when I look back on that Google search, I think the quote that I see that fits my life a little bit well is that if you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. Thank you.
JoAnn Thomas Lewis, a med school student with a BA in biology, and Kevin Nicholas, who holds a BA in criminal justice, have been dancing together for approximately 2 months.
I used to be so broken, lost, empty. A heart with no beat, a singer with no song to sing. So I know the feeling, the silence is deafening. But in your pain lies a blessing, a sweet and sour victory. So keep walking, 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 though it seems so far. No matter who you are, see there's one thing that I know. Life it can leave you so bitter, bitter, listen to me. I know you're scared, your heart's bleeding. But what are you gonna do now? I think it's time you break free and keep walking, 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 though it seems so far. No, it doesn't really matter who you are. See, there's one thing that I know. Life, it can leave you so bitter, 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 bitter. But you must believe that it gets better, 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 better. It's alright, dry your eyes, send a prayer to the sky. I know it's hard to find, but you must believe that it gets better, better. Oh yeah, almost out of here. See, I was almost done. I wanted to die from how I was done wrong. I cried out every night, looking for a helping hand. That's when it happened. Jesus took me and he held me close, gave me love, refilled my heart, helped me grow better because his love, it made me always available. Anytime, try him out, he'll change your life. See, I know that, yeah, life, it can leave you so bitter, 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 bitter. But you must believe that it gets better, better, better. Yeah, life, it can leave you so bitter, 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 bitter. But you must believe that it gets better, better. Oh, it gets better, better, better. So much better, better. It gets better if you only believe. So much better.
Miss Mahlana Graham is a 12th grader at the St. Croix Seventh-day Adventist School who is also a freshman at the University of the Virgin Islands. She is passionate about science and aspires to become a medical doctor. She enjoys studying poetry, making music through singing and instruments, taking pictures of herself and others, and mostly cooking. She is also the reigning United States Virgin Islands Poetry Out Loud champion. Tonight, she is playing Harriet Tubman.
I didn't take no stuff. Wasn't scared of nothing either. Didn't come in this world to be no slave. And I wasn't gonna stay one either. Farewell, I said to my friends one night. I was mighty sad to leave them. But I ran away that dark, hot night, ran a-looking for my freedom. So I ran to the woods and I ran through the woods. The slave catchers right behind me. But I kept on going till I got on up where those mean men couldn't find me. 19 times I ran back south to save 300 others. I ran for my freedom 19 times to save black sisters and brothers. I didn't take no stuff. Wasn't scared of nothing either. Didn't come in this world to be no slave, no sir. And I didn't stay one either.
Chyrise King is no stranger to the music scene. Having been blessed with great opportunities at a young age, King has sung at the Harlem Showtime at the Apollo, VI Idol, and an American Idol semi-finalist. She has opened at Knicks games in Madison Square Garden and sung at Calvin Klein parties, prestigious places such as Carnegie Hall, and in 2007 recorded a children's album, which included Grammy Award-winning songstress Sheryl Crow.
I was born by the river in a little tent, oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it is. I was born by the river, yeah, in a little tent, oh, and just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it is. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there, far beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Yes. Well, I go to the movies and I go downtown. There's always someone there saying, we don't want you around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it is. Through many dangerous toils and sneaks, we have already come. Was grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will long time coming, but I know a change has come. There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings the fire, ignites the candle, and makes his home. There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings the fire, ignites the candle, and makes it whole. Carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the helpless, confused and torn. Carry your candle for all to see. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings the fire, ignites the candle, and makes it whole. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the helpless, confused and torn. Carry your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle and go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. Thank you. I'd like to thank Mr. Massey Olu-Massey, who played the drums with me, and Mr. Kevin, who just came on the stage and did his thing. We didn't practice. So give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Cling after cling, chain after chain. I can feel the rope tightening around my neck. My throat dry of thirst. My stomach paining me from hunger. I wonder, what would it be like to be sold into slavery? When I stand next to my brother and we all look at each other and we say, hey, which one of us will be first? We don't know who, but we know somebody will be the next one to be sold into slavery. You stand and you think, hey, is this how our ancestors felt though? Not knowing and trying to deal with the betrayal of the people who you thought would have your back. The people who you thought would stand next to you and protect you. The betrayal and the hurt, the anger that you feel. But you just stand and you wait. Just wait in your turn to be sold into slavery. One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. Oh, glory. 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 I say glory. Oh, glory. Oh, glory. Oh, glory. One day. Kwaze, kwaze, kwabunakaya, tena sofanana, yeah. Kwaze, kwabunakala, tena sofanana, yeah. 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 Kwaze kwabunakala. Tena sofanana, yeah. Kwaze kwabunakala. Tena sofanana, yeah. 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 When he comes, I shall be like him. When he comes, oh, shall be like him. Like him. No more pain now. shall be like him. See his face now. I shall be like. I'm gonna see his face. Oh yeah. Shall be like.
Voices of Inspiration, and we want to say thank you to you, our audience. Please put your hands together for yourself. And we have all our performances. We want you to come up on stage, so keep on clapping, keep it coming. We have music in motion, dance, ensemble. Come on out and take a bow. We want to say thank you to Sojourner Truth. Where is she? Sojourner Truth, where are you? Please come to the stage. Lisa Charles playing Sojourner Truth. We want to say a very special thank you to Miss Harriet Tubman. Please come forward and take a bow. Special thank you to Ella Fitzgerald. Miss Colleen, Liburd, please come forward and take a bow. We want to say thank you to Miss Cobell. I call her Sherry, Shelly, okay? Shelly Gumbs. Say thank you. Claudette Cobell, say thank you. We want to say thank you to Caribbean Dance Company or Dance School. They're not here right now, but we want to say a special thank you to them. We want to say thank you to our band, Truth. This is a group of young musicians that are dedicated and committed to playing inspirational music here within the Virgin Islands and throughout the entire world. We want to say special thank you to Doc Peterson, who was at the gate. Thank you for allowing us to have this program. We want to say thank you to Frederick Douglass. We want to say thank you to Booker T. Washington. Dennis McCluster, please come forward. We want to say thank you to JoAnn and Kevin, JoAnn Thomas Lewis and Kevin Nicholas. Kendra Young, Mahalia Jackson, come forward and take a bow. We want to say thank you to Ochin and Milan, come forward please. And last but not least, the wonderful voice of Chyrise King. We also want to say thank you to our reader, that was Abigail Romaine. Come on out, Abigail. And the beautiful lights that you see on stage, that's by Doyle, Ephraim Doyle. Come on. And we want to say thank you to Goodell for the beautiful sounds tonight. Everyone, please take a bow. When he comes, when he comes.